Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm gonna have to talk just a little bit quiet because the baby is sleeping. But today's video is a sponsored video. I'm going to be talking about the MOMMED or MOMMED, however you guys choose to say it, one-step ovulation kit, as well as the ovulation strips that come with it. Now, this was sent to me based on my last video, so thank you to the company for reaching out to me to give me this opportunity. And I'm just basically going to show you guys how it works. I also demonstrated using this actually in my very first video. So if you want to see that, just because I'm not pregnant anymore, you guys can go back to that video and take a look at it and see how positive results show on the pregnancy test. So the kit that I got is actually this one here. It's a little different than the one that I actually purchased myself from Amazon. So there's a little bit more test strips and ovulation strips in here. I have not opened this yet. I'm gonna open this with you guys, but I'm just gonna show you everything that comes in it, and I'm just gonna be explaining the ovulation strips and the pregnancy strips as well. So my box is completely empty. So I'm just gonna open this one. Okay, so this is basically the inside of the box, okay? So we have a little paper here. It's the instruction manual. It tells you how to test, when is the best time to test as far as the ovulation, and then as far as the pregnancy test as well. It's in different languages, so make sure you flip it on the back because there are extra languages on the back. And then this has everything you need to know here. So this here talks about the cycles, how many days you are, and the correct usage of the ovulation strips. And it basically tells you how to take the test. Pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory, okay? Also, if you can hear any noise, I'm sorry. My neighbors walk really hard upstairs, okay? So this explains the hormones and everything right here, and what hormone specifically is testing for. And then it tells you here how to read the test, right? There has control in the test line, okay? So the instructions, like I said, using a pregnancy test, ovulation test, is pretty self-explanatory, especially when it's a strip test. I know the strip tests usually take longer. And then this is the actual instructions for using the pregnancy test, and you put it on the right side here. So it tells you the same thing, same way as the ovulation test, okay? The ovulation test is just a little bit more detailed because it's going by the days of your cycle and when to test and how to test properly. This is also, this did not come in my kit, okay? I had a paper like this, so this one is a little bit more detailed and specific, and I like this one. This is my paper. I'm just going to talk about this in just a minute. And it looks like they changed it. So this may be what you put your test strips on. So it has everything here. It looks just like mine, but this is just reviews from other people. These are also the reviews, okay? And then here it is, the ovulation test strip. And these are where you when you start testing, you just kind of put them on here. It doesn't come with an adhesive strip, so I just kind of glued it on there. And this is for the pregnancy test, I guess, how many times you actually take the test. I did not get a pregnancy test strip paper like this, so I just kind of kept every one of them that I did actually. This looks like it has little tips on conceiving and preconception. And then this is your TTC paper here. And it also has Q&As on here. Like this one says, the question was, I have endometriosis. What should I do to get pregnant? It has an answer here. Not medical advice. It specifically tells you here to reach out to a medical professional, okay? And this actually has the HCG tracker on here. And then here is all of their information and social medias and websites, emails, everything you need to know. Another Q&A here. So this one is a little bit more handy than the one that I actually received. I would have preferred this one, but my sheet of paper got me through and got me to what I needed. So inside here, it's kind of packed down. These are your urine cups here, okay? So this one came with 20 pregnancy tests and 60 ovulation test strips. Mine was 40 ovulation test strips and 15 pregnancy tests, okay? So the little cups do come in handy because it's hard trying to find a spare cup, honestly, to pee in. So these are disposable. These are a lot more bigger than the ones that I initially had. It was probably about like this size actually. So these are better. Okay. Now I'm gonna open it and show you what they look like. These are the ovulation strips here. And then inside it's just one. And then here is your pregnancy test here. So they're different colors so that you don't get them confused, and they're also labeled. And then on the back, of course, it tells you exactly how to use these test strips, okay? So for the pregnancy test, I'm just gonna go open it one by one, okay? So for the ovulation test here, same thing. First morning urine sample, and you want to dip it into the cup for about 5 seconds. So let me just demonstrate it here. I would do this, but I am not, like I said, I'm not pregnant and I am not trying to conceive right now. And this is what I was talking about. I didn't know I had extra cups, but I'm just gonna show the size difference. Big difference, okay? This was mine that I purchased, and this is the newer kit that was sent to me, okay? Big difference. That's like not even half of that. So it's a big improvement. I like that. So let's say this is our urine sample, correct? I always did mine at the beginning of the morning. So my first urine sample for the day. Some people like to use these tests multiple times throughout the day, but I specifically only did the morning time, which was more better for me and also worked. So I didn't have time to be doing this 3-4 times a day, okay? So hopefully this runs. I'm just gonna show you. So you're supposed to put it in for about 5 seconds up until the line, and make sure it's all the way in. So we're just gonna do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure it's good and saturated. I'm just gonna put this down, okay? And you can see here, the strip is running. So it may be faulty just because this is water and this is not a urine sample. I am just showing this to demonstrate what it looks like when it's running, okay? So here you see the test line that comes up. So you're supposed to let these sit for about 5 minutes, and then it gives you a reading. Now, one thing you have to remember when you're doing these ovulation tests, there's always going to be 2 lines, okay? Just because you see 2 does not mean that that is your day. There's a progression line, which is why they give you this here so that you can watch for the progression. And it tells you on here, your darkest line day is your peak of ovulation. And it explains everything on there. If you're confused and this doesn't make sense to you, there's so much research you can do about that. So it gives you your cycle length and then the days to begin testing, okay? And on here, it says how to understand the results, which is what I was basically explaining. So it says the test only works when the procedures are followed precisely. Consult a doctor if irregular or unusually long cycles are experienced. So it has, how do you know if it's positive? How do you know if it's negative? Or if the test is invalid. So my test would probably be invalid just because this is water on here. So the test line and the control line are gonna pop up. What you're looking for is, for your peak of ovulation, is for your test line to start to progressively become darker. That is what we're looking for when we're using the test kits. And I know a lot of people get confused about using the test strips for ovulation. They rather do digital, but for me this worked. The first time it did not work just because I started way too far out in the cycle and my cycle actually came. So after that is when I started. I chose to start immediately right after my cycle was gone, just because I didn't know, you know, how soon you would see a change. And I know ovulation doesn't happen the day after your cycle. I just wanted to see for myself, you know, how long does it take? Does it actually follow this chart? And everybody's going to be different, but I just wanted to see for me, and if my app was correct as well, that I would actually ovulate on the days that my strip started to become darker and when my peak actually was. So on here, it shows you the difference between the positive and the negative test. The control line is going to always be there. Your test line has to be darker than the control line to know that this is your peak of ovulation. And I'm going to just show you my paper as well. So this is what the test looks like. Basically, you can get it, but there's your control line. Of course, there's not a LH line on there just because I did not provide a urine sample. Now, if I had, there would have been a line there, just because there's always going to be two lines. But just because this is water, it's invalid. So this was my paper that I did. Okay, so my lines are there. It's going to be kind of hard to see, but I'm just going to do it here. So these are all of the test lines here. Okay, the controls. So I'm just going to show you where I put the check mark, which was my peak of ovulation. So I started the day after. So this is from dated July 10th until July 22nd. Okay, so here, let me see. The test lines are clearly there. You see the check mark. This is what we're looking for, the peak of ovulation. This was, as you can see, the darkest that I had ever gotten. So here we start to see progression. Darker, darker, darkest peak of ovulation. The day after, you see it starts to get lighter again. Okay, this is why it is important to keep these. And if you're really trying to conceive, you see the difference on these papers. Okay, like I said, I know the strips are not for everybody, but this is what personally helped me. I followed the app, I looked at the app, but I wanted to purchase this and see what difference it actually made. And it was a lot better for me to visually see it. And for some people, it may make them more comfortable just to see that this is actually here versus an app telling them, you know. So you can definitely see on there the days before, we are all light here, no change, always two lines, and then we start to see the lines change. Darkest is what we're looking for. This was my date of ovulation. Okay, this also matched what was on my app, surprisingly. So I just went ahead and followed it, and it clearly worked because you guys saw the pregnancy test video. And I'm just going to demonstrate a pregnancy test as well. Same thing, shows you how do you know if it's positive, negative, or invalid. It's not going to show either one of those. It's going to show invalid just because I'm using water again. So I'm just going to, same deal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, take it out. You can see it here. And for this one specifically, you guys can go back and watch my video and you will see me using this specific test on there, and you can see the positive line. So we have our control line there, test line, and no other line appearing because we are using water. I would highly recommend purchasing this kit, not just because I'm doing a video because it's sponsored, but because this really made a big difference for me. Fairly simple. This was my first time actually using one of these to conceive. The first time I did not do this at all. The second time was a little bit different, and this really changed a lot for me. It was very, very helpful. It's exciting too to watch this. I was really excited the day that I saw this, because at first I was like, there's no change. Like, why am I even doing this? Is there a point in me doing this? But as I started to get further along in my cycle and my lines started to darken, I realized that it actually does work. and I think I was just being too anxious about it and was stressing myself out because I'm that person. When I got to that date, I was very, very excited. Now, I have a book somewhere. I always do like pregnancy journals with like the ultrasound pictures and everything, and till this day the line is still visible on that pregnancy test, and it is now 12 months later, so a year later, and you can see the line's pretty dark, shows pretty accurate. This is an invalid strip. Okay, now let's say I did urinate. I know for a fact that I am not pregnant right now. We still would have the same results. Okay, all right, so that is pretty much it for this video and this kit. Pretty self-explanatory. Everybody that's on the trying to conceive journey, just remember that this is not it for you. I know it's hard for some people, but this is just an alternative to help you guys out. Everybody that's new to this and they're looking to conceive, or you know you don't have any issues becoming pregnant but you're just not sure when your ovulation date is, buy a kit. I bought this kit I think for maybe $12 on Amazon, but it's well worth it because you go through the ovulation strips so fast, so fast. And I think maybe for like 2 days I might have used it, done it 3 times a day, but it was probably on the weekend, so it's probably the only reason why I did it. But this is a very handy kit. I referred this kit to one of my friends before this video and before this company reached out to me, and she also just had her baby. So this is a pretty good kit. One of my friends that is also pregnant right now reached out to me and asked me what kit I use. That is the same kit that I use, and she will be due here pretty soon. If you're new, definitely go that extra mile to purchase the kit. If you were like me and you wanted to physically see the difference for yourself instead of just going by an app, I use the app, and I also purchased the kit because I am not the one to have ovulation symptoms. I know some people do, like the cramping, or they just know. I was never one of those people. So I went ahead and just purchased the kit, and it was simple for me. It's very self-explanatory, very user-friendly, if anybody's wondering. You can see it's just demonstrated here. So I wish everybody the best of luck, and if you do purchase this kit, or you've used this kit, or you've had issues with it, or you know, what are your likes and dislikes about it, you guys can feel free to comment that at the bottom, because I will be sharing my opinions as well throughout the comment section, and responding to anybody that has comments about it, basically. So go to Amazon, type in this specific testing kit rather, and go for it. I wish everybody the best of luck. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you guys again soon.